I mean, I can remember when I got my first period and I thought I had literally cut my vagina in half, hence why I was bleeding. I mean, it's not that... It could have happened. I don't know what I thought I'd cut it on, but I thought I'd cut it. I hadn't. It was my period. Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to my challenge and back to the 30-30 sort of series that I'm doing about the 30 marathons in 30 days that I will be running next May. Now, when I first announced that I was doing this challenge, I have got a lot of questions asking why I picked the charity Bloodygoodperiod to work with. Why was I wanting to get donations for the charity and why I was wanting to raise money for them. So I'm going to make this little video today to sort of explain the topic of period poverty in general. So when I first sort of knew about the topic of period poverty, it was a few years ago, and I very naively thought that period poverty was only something that happened outside of the UK. I thought it wasn't a problem we had here, it wasn't a topic that we had here. I just thought very naively that it was something that didn't happen inside the UK. It seems implausible that this is of great concern within this country. And it's those working as volunteers, as charities, as people who donate, who are trying to alleviate the pressure of period poverty. It's making sure that people have sanitary items and items that they need for their menstrual cycle, and it's giving them to people who are in deprived areas, who can't afford and who really need those vital everyday items. Period poverty is when someone cannot afford to buy sanitary items for their menstrual cycle. Now, this affects women who are homeless, women who are living on the streets, asylum seekers, refugees, people in deprived areas, and women and girls who just can't afford to put sanitary items at the top of their shopping list. So this means that for some women and girls, they are using alternative methods. So they are using plastic bags, they're using socks and bits of clothing and wrapping tissues around the knickers because they can't afford the sanitary products they need. It is crazy the impact a small everyday item, everyday essential item has on someone's life. Children who cannot afford sanitary items are routinely missing school. Children from low socioeconomic backgrounds are not going to school because they can't afford sanitary items every month. This then means that girls are missing large chunks of curriculum, which creates a massive gender divide in educational progression. And those who are going to school, just imagine how gross it feels to try and make a tampon last all day, or having tissue shoved up your knickers and leaving the classroom and being worried about bleeding all over the chairs. How are young girls meant to concentrate when they've got bigger things to be thinking about, like what's going on in the knickers? Now, I have learned a lot during my research, and one of the main things I came to find was that the taboo around the subject of period poverty and periods in general just perpetuates the cycle, the ongoing cycle of period poverty. From tribes in the Himalayas, mothers, daughters, Olympians and athletes, and women in charge of massive big corporations in the city, we are all united by this one bodily function. But there is so much of a big taboo around it, and we are embarrassed and ashamed to talk about something that happens every month. I think school does try and prepare us, but from a young age we are told that there's certain topics that you just don't really talk about, such as periods. I mean, in sex educational class, I can remember the boys and the girls getting split up, and we never had it together. So already that was seen as a girl learns one thing and a boy learns the other, and we don't talk about it together. It doesn't get discussed. Without these vital, open discussions, topics like menstruation don't end up being discussed and then end up becoming a taboo subject. There is such a social stigma for a variety of women's topics, whether that's sex, menopause, periods, whatever. There's a stigma around women sharing intimate stories. I think we are placed on a social platform where women believe that we have to be perfect at everything. We have to have perfect periods, we have to have perfect sex, we have to have perfect hair and perfect lives, and that just truly isn't the case. And because of that social platform that we seem to have put ourselves on a pedestal to be perfect, we don't talk about the things like periods that sort of make us embarrassed, and it gives us shame. Personally, for me, I don't think there's anything more empowering than hearing the women bold enough to share their stories, share their experiences, share their mistakes and the good things they've learned along the way. And it sort of gives other women and other girls the leg up, and it empowers other women and other girls to speak up about topics such as period poverty. There's something courageous about women who share personal experiences, and there's something courageous about women who step up to the plate and talk about topics that don't get talked about. I had my concerns when picking this charity, not for the charity itself, because they are a great charity, they do amazing work, but because I was worried about how men was going to get involved, and whether men would want to back this or whether they'd want to take a step back and think, you know what, don't really want to get involved in that. But I think it's great in order to have men and boys involved in conversations. We can't expect men and boys to know what's going on, and we can't expect them to get involved if we don't facilitate this sort of learning, which is why I thought, heck, let's pick the charity, let's spread some awareness, let's make this as big as we can, and yes, raise money and donations for an amazing charity, but also I feel like a lot of people can learn from this. So that is a very brief summary of why I chose this charity. Once again, follow my YouTube channel and make sure that you are kept up to date with everything that's going on around the challenge. I'm hoping to get some more videos out to do with training, etc. And as always, make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms. I'll link everything down below, sort of just to keep up to date with everything. But if you do have any questions, then just send me a message. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello! Are you coming to join? Are you coming to join? Okay. You can sit there. You're either in or you're out. Are you in here with me, or do you want to go outside? Because you're stressing me out. What am I saying?